Vanakkam Makkale and welcome to this week's episode of Konjam Mokka with Science. This week, we're going to talk about a theory that would do wonders if it were a reality, but unfortunately, it remains just an idea. We're going to talk about perpetual motion. You may be thinking, whoa Shruti, slow down with the big words. But don't worry, we'll look at this fascinating theory together. Einstein was the one who came up with the theory, but one of the first models was created by an Indian author, Bhaskara. But before we get into models, let's look at what perpetual motion actually is. Perpetual motion is described as the action of a device, once set in motion, would continue in motion forever with no additional energy required. So essentially, they're a forever running machine, once you start it. If this were possible, it would be one of the cheapest energy sources compared to how electricity is traditionally generated. It is also said that it is a clean way to produce energy, meaning it won't add to our carbon footprint and generate carbon dioxide. In addition, it doesn't depend on nature like other clean forms of energy. For example, like how solar energy depends on the sun or wind energy being wind dependent. All in all, a perpetual motion machine would be the cheapest, clean, and reliable alternate energy source in the world. You might be wondering, wow, Shruti, this sounds like the solution to one of our biggest problems. How come it's not possible? Well, I'm just about to get to that. Perpetual motion is not possible because it breaks the first and second laws of thermodynamics. The first stating that the total energy of a system is always constant, and the second declaring that some energy is always lost in converting heat into work. To add on, friction would eventually stop it, taking into consideration that friction is impossible to neglect in real-world situations. But despite these obstacles, let's say, inventors aren't discouraged. Through their persistent research, they have broken perpetual motion devices into 3 kinds. The first one including devices that claim to generate more energy than the device requires to be brought back to its original state. An example being the overbalanced wheel, typically where flexible arms are attached to the outer rim of a vertically mounted wheel. An inclined vessel is arranged to transfer rolling weights from folded arms on one side of the wheel to fully extended arms on the other. The general idea is that the movement of the weights would keep the wheel spinning, but this violates the first laws of thermodynamics. The second kind breaks the second laws of thermodynamics. A famous failure was the ammonia-filled Zero motor developed in the 1880s by John Gamgee in Washington, D.C. Perpetual motion devices of the third kind deal with obstacles like friction and electrical reversity. These are problems as these forces can be greatly reduced but never completely eliminated without using additional energy. Well, whatever these machines end up looking like, they would be of great use in our modern world. Inventors are constantly looking for ways to overcome these problems, but until then, we must find alternate energy sources some other way. Catch you on next week's episode. Stay safe and stay curious.